Presents if you've been with us before, and welcome to Leanne Presents if it's your first time with us. I'm your host for this video, Leanne, and this is Alan. That one. Too many points. We'll get into the pointing because it's Wrestlemania season. The road to Wrestlemania famously starts with the Royal Rumble, where the classic pointing at signs fest begins. So,
although the winner of the men's one, which we'll get into in a minute, did seem to be quite reluctant.
And the winner of the women's, it's a bit hit and miss whether you would count it as actually pointing, but we'll get there. So yeah, we are here, as you've seen from the title card, to give our reactions to the latest WWE Premium Live event.
The first of 2023.
First of 2023, the Royal Rumble 2023. It's quite a good event. It's long. It was a long event.
So there's only 5 matches and it was nearly 4.5 hours.
Yes, yeah.
That surprised me when I logged in this morning to the network and I was like, sorry, how long?
It's a bit crazy, but...
What?
Yeah, so we start off with, they always do this sort of lead-in video package where they've got wrestlers and people talking about how Royal Rumble is going to go and how they're going to win and this sort of thing. And we had Hardy, who is the artist who wrote the song that's being used for Royal Rumble, Sold Out, doing his little bit. Because they like to get the artists in on the action where they can. And he delivered, right in the first couple of minutes, the most confusing line of the whole show, which is saying something, seeing as who we've got on the commentary team. You'd better have ice in your bags. I may have misheard it, don't know.
No, you didn't.
You'd better have ice in your bags because if you freeze under pressure, it's lights out. I don't know how that line got through all of the practicing
one of the WWE writers had to have come up with that.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. But yeah, so that was fun. Just leaving us. There's always something that leaves us a bit baffled, but I didn't expect it to be right at the start.
Yeah.
Yes, they have that. And then we go to the commentary team at ringside. And our first surprise of the evening.
Surprise or disappointment?
Bit of both. Pat McAfee is back on commentary. He had this whole entrance. The commentary team apparently did not know anything about this.
Michael Cole looked so shocked.
Yeah. And fair play to them. They did a good job of one being very excited and the other being absolutely horrified. And I think you especially, out of us two, were definitely the latter.
I was the Corey Graves of the situation by far.
He's just not good, and he really proved... He proved to us how not good he is throughout the event. Some people love him, fair enough. You know, he's a whole personality in America, but nah. And then we had the next surprise of the event. The opening match was the men's Royal Rumble.
What?
It's always been the main event.
What? What? Well, not always.
No, not always. Most of the time, though, it's the main event.
Majority of the time, yeah.
Or usually, not the opening match.
I think the last time they did a non-male Rumble as the main event was the first time they had the women's Rumble. And that was the Shinsuke, Nakamura, and Asuka won their respective Rumbles. Because it was the first time having the women's, they wanted to make a spotlight of that, and that was great.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely
having the
opening the show?
The opening is a bit weird.
Yeah.
I guess they wanted to start strong, which is fair. So... It's fun. It was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. This Rumble as it goes is one of the better ones.
Yeah, it started off with Gunther and Sheamus. This is 1 and 2. Sheamus' birthday, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's some fun moments in there. You had Paul Miz being number 3, who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and took a lot of hits because other people were ducking out of the way.
Yeah.
And when you got Gunther and Sheamus doing chops and you're getting them accidentally, that's not a fun time for anyone. It was, we won't go through every detail because, you can watch the show yourself. That's probably a better way to experience it. So it's just sort of our reactions rather than a recap. Loads of people happening.
Loads of people 30
happening.
To be precise.
30 whole people.
29 to be precise.
We had... Kofi, poor Kofi. so last year's Rumble, I think it was, where he tried to do something and slipped, something went wrong.
Yeah, he kind of catapulted off the apron. He tried to grab onto the barrier at the ringside, and he just wasn't. He might have not been over far enough or something, and he just hit the ground with both his feet.
Eliminated. So we were kind of expecting this year to be the comeback. He'd do something amazing, and unfortunately, something went wrong. He sort of leaped onto a upturned chair.
I get the feeling, because it was Gunther which kind of pushed him out of the ring, and I get the feeling he might have pushed a bit too hard, maybe overcompensating.
So it looked like he was on the ground, but one leg was up on top of this chair. So we were sort of thinking, he's still in it. No one's eliminated him. It's fine. But he never came back. And it looks like he might have hit his head on the announce desk.
If you look back at it, he kind of hits the chair kind of turns and tumbles, and he's kind of hits his head straight on the corner of that desk, right at the bottom part as well. Not even the top, where it might be a bit more shallow, that support beam right in the bottom just hits it straight.
Yeah, so it's heartbreaking. I wonder if, because he's been famous for his Royal Rumble matches and all the crazy stuff he does, and perhaps
I think it's time that this is done.
They've built up the expectation so much to do better and better each year, and if 2 years in a row it doesn't go right, maybe just take it back to basics.
That's it.
You can do some cool stuff, but maybe I feel like
inside the ring instead,
because it's so ambitious, there's too much that can go wrong, and he just needs a bit more time in a Royal Rumble now.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's heartbreaking, really. We had when Santos Escobar got eliminated. That looked painful as well.
Yeah,
his back hit the corner of the apron.
I can't remember who tossed him. It was like
It was Brock Lesnar.
So he just kind of launched him.
Yes, and just like
and it looked like his spine just smacked, and he was on one of the LED board sides as well, so it's a bit harder again. Yeah,
he seemed okay though. He got up and left on his own.
But then is that just the adrenaline?
Never know. So, hopefully he's all right.
We'll see what happens with this. I didn't see any. Yeah, I didn't see anything come out.
No.
I had a quick look at all the sort of the news sites now. Nothing on Kofi yet. Nothing on Santos.
So then we come to Brock Lesnar is eliminated by Bobby Lashley, which is amazing.
Brock was in there for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, which is crazy. So we expected him. He did eliminate quite a few people in that 3 minutes. But...
So obviously we had Gunther and Sheamus, which I think had won a lot of Match of the Year awards last year from Clash of the Castle.
Yes.
And everyone was expecting, like, oh, what happens if Gunther takes on Brock Lesnar? And that will be a hell of a fight. So it come to the point where they're standing in the ring, nose to nose, about to go at it, and then the buzzer goes, and there's Bobby Lashley, and then chaos just breaks out.
Yeah.
And then Bobby gets Brock Lesnar. Well, Brock Lesnar goes straight for Bobby Lashley, tries to get him an F5, he gets tumped out the ring, and it's like, oh, we didn't get to see Brock and Gunther.
No. Maybe
but as soon as they sort of started squaring up, the fans were like, oh.
It's clear that WWE knows that is what the fans want, and they're just going to tease it.
And that's the thing with the Rumble matches, you can kind of sprinkle those little breadcrumbs. You can give a little bit, just put a bit here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And then see how it goes,
Yeah. So Brock is very, very upset.
Oh, yeah.
He's like wrecking the place. He's slamming stairs onto the announce desk.
I suppose that thing didn't break.
Cover it into the ring?
He did, yeah. Because Bobby kind of went...
What is this?
I think it was
no
Bobby.
one was in the way. Yeah, he went absolutely nuts. And then the buzzer goes for the next entrant, who is Baron Corbin, who all like happy and everything.
It's a bit of Brock Lesnar's fury, yeah.
Yeah, Brock gets him.
I think I said, what's the chance now Brock's going to run around, he's going to pummel Baron Corbin before he gets to the ring, and that's exactly what happened. Although Brock did slip. He sort of hit Corbin, he ran into him like with an elbow or a forearm or something, and he kind of must have stopped short because he realised he was too close, and he kind of went, hit, and then went, whoop, straight down on his ass.
Whoops. World slide. So the next fun thing, well, Corbin's obviously now out on the outside, hasn't got in the ring, so he's not eliminated. Entrant number 15 is Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Who very kindly helps Corbin into the ring. And then immediately eliminated.
Straight out, yeah.
Which is
like,
brilliant.
God, you must have been there less than 10 seconds easily. Like maybe 5 at a push. That's
just
hilarious.
bad luck. And he's all about luck, Baron Corbin. But there you go.
Well, no, he's not Lucky Corbin anymore, is he? So.
No, but he's still good at the gambling and stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. All right, give you that one.
Unless IRS comes in and takes the money. That's fun. Okay, entrant number 17, skipping ahead slightly, it should be Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Music starts, no sign of him. So we're sort of wondering whether Brock might have got him or Karrion Kross, who was earlier.
Because I anticipated after the SmackDown match with Rey Mysterio beating Karrion Kross, which is BS by the way, might have got him backstage beating him up a little bit.
Maybe. But then entrant number 18 is Dominic Mysterio.
Jailbird.
Who comes out wearing Rey's mask. So then it's like, okay, Rey's not coming.
Yeah.
Or if he does, he'll have like had to loop through his old bags to find an old mask or something and then come out in mismatched gear.
But then, I get the feeling that the Rumble match again was supposed to set up a lot of stuff for WrestleMania, and I get the feeling they're going to set up Rey versus Dominic. They still could have done this.
Yeah.
They've done it quite well with this still, because, you cost me my shot at the Rumble, that's it, I've had enough of this, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
The caveat is that, obviously I've checked the different outsources and news sites and stuff that I check. Rey Mysterio apparently has an injury that he suffered during the match with Karrion Kross on SmackDown, which is why he didn't appear in the Rumble.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just sort of a precaution. Stay out the Rumble and you can come back.
It's not sure what injury it is yet, but obviously they still wanted to forward the story between him and Dominic. So.
I think having that mask as a set piece is quite an effective way to do that, because it's got such a rich story behind just being a luchador mask, you know.
And all the way to the ring then, Dominic's trying to rip the mask. He must have just stretched the eye holes to be about this big, and it didn't tear it, and it's like, just give it up, mate.
Just give it up. If you can't do it in one, just drop it, it's fine. Or like throw it into the crowd, someone will be happy. Yeah,
that's the point though, you don't throw it in the crowd, you throw it on their entranceway to provoke the fans, to make them boo you, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the trick of it.
We have Elias hitting Gunther with the guitar, which is fun.
Scratches his back up quite nice.
Finn Balor comes out number 20, and I was really impressed with the teamwork between him and Dominic Mysterio.
Yes. You know what I wasn't impressed with? His silver damn shoe.
Yeah, he had odd shoes. It went with the outfit, but
it did, but it was just too distracting.
Yeah, it's.
I like my symmetry.
You like symmetry.
I like symmetry. Damn it.
A lot of people are the same though, and like that symmetry. So I can imagine it would have been a few people just going, "Ooh, change the camera angle." Yeah, it was really good. Loads of like interceptions to save each other or capitalize on their moves, and they did a lot of stuff together, including eliminate Johnny Gargano as a team, which is pretty cool. Entry number 21 was maybe one of the biggest surprises. Booker T.
Can you dig it, sucker? I just sat there like, sorry, what? What? He's retired.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, what?
It's like the sort of thing, fans would get excited about it because it's Booker T, Hall of Famer, you know, he was great in his day, but then you're like, we haven't seen this man wrestle in such a long time.
I can't remember the last time
The commentators were saying that he looks shredded. He doesn't look shredded. He looks fit. He doesn't look unhealthy, but he doesn't look like in ring shape.
He pulled his trunks up higher as well, probably to hide a little bit of that, just compress it in a little bit. He's getting on a bit now.
He is. So I was just, the whole way he's going down the insanely long ramp to the ring, just getting more and more nervous about what this is going to be.
And he gets to the ring and he's almost like, it's like, oh my God, he's gasped before he even gets in the ring.
It's like, oh no. He did a couple of things, a couple of spots, did a spin-a-rooney in the middle of the ring, and then Gunther eliminates him.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Bit of a waste of an entrant, we think.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Yeah.
You've got to have some surprises, and I think they were a bit stuck on who to get in, who could do it. Maybe they should have looked harder. Sorry, Booker T.
Hell, just go to NXT. We've got loads of guys in NXT.
Too many people make Damian Priest angry, so he eliminates like Montez Ford, for example. Then entrant 24 is Edge.
Yes!
Which, he got a massive pop.
Oh, he did. He did. So, do you think you know me? It was like, ah!
I feel like it gives people flashbacks.
It's like 3 years ago, yeah.
Is
it 3 years? I think it was 3 years.
So when he came back after being away for 9 years. Yeah. And it just, that music popped.
I mean, I did. I popped.
The klaxon.
Yeah.
Even though it's not such a big thing, because he's been back for a bit.
Well, he was injured again, wasn't he, after the match with Finn Balor at Extreme Rules.
But that, like, nostalgia back to that amazing entrance and that huge surprise just made it a great
And the Judgment Day are like, huh?
Yeah, their faces. And yeah, he did eliminate both Finn Balor and Damian Priest, before being eliminated by Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Yeah. I think Dominic was helping as well.
Edge was trying to get Dominic out, and then Finn and Damian came from the outside and
which is he went over the top, so it is
it works. And then they continue to brawl on the ramp as they go up, passing Austin Theory, who's on his way down to the ring. It's entrant 25. And Rhea Ripley gets involved in the brawl, does some damage, and out comes
Beth Phoenix.
So she takes out Rhea. It's good to see her.
Yeah.
It's really good to see her.
Yeah.
She looks so fierce.
Again, I think they're setting up... Oh, they can't set up a WrestleMania match with Beth Phoenix now. Getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but yeah. Okay, continue.
Yes. Omos comes out.
Yeah.
But then Braun comes out.
Yeah, Braun's right next to oh god.
Well, yeah, Omos gets eliminated by Braun. That's good.
Yeah, not surprisingly.
Entrant 29. You're going to hate this one. Logan Paul. Booed all the way down to the ring. Booed as he's in the middle of the ring trying to get everyone on his side. Although I think he is leaning into the people hate me, so lean into it.
A pen.
Everyone else who's in the Rumble then gangs up on him and attacks him, kicks him to the ground, and the crowd has such a big cheer. They love it. They want to see him knocked down completely.
What you mean to say is they don't want to see him.
They don't. Yeah, they don't want to see him. It's not a love to hate thing like there is with proper heels. It's just a
hate.
Get this guy out of here.
Get out. We don't want you. With your stupid prime, whatever it is, energy drink or water, whatever the hell it is.
So silly. Yeah. And then our final entrant is Cody Rhodes. Unsurprisingly, because he's been teased and announced constantly.
Didn't get as big a pop as Edge, I felt.
No, he didn't. I think
more of a sustained, but less of an impactful. Yes. Oh!
Because it's not a surprise, I suppose.
They should have kept it as a surprise.
They should have. It could have worked.
Like when years and years, I can't remember what year it was, but years ago, John Cena was out with an injury, right? They were like, it's going to be out for like 8 to 10 months, whatever it was. 4 months later, he's back in the Rumble at entrant number, I think it was 30.
Yeah.
And as soon as that music hit, everyone was like, what the hell? Even like all the guys in the ring didn't know. I remember Triple H, he was in the ring, he's like, what? And it's like, it works.
Yeah.
It's the Royal Rumble. It's probably the one premium live event a year. You can get away with doing surprise entrances, not building them up, because people anticipate surprises.
Yeah.
So don't build it up.
No.
And even to the point where they announced that Cody Rhodes was going to be in the Rumble, supposedly, he wasn't cleared at that point to actually be in the ring. That's a big gamble.
Yeah, that's a huge gamble. Really, really
that's
bad.
the kind of stuff that Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan at the time, or CM Punk rather, sorry. So CM Punk was in the company, obviously, and he didn't want to be in the Rumble. He didn't want to take the spot, but everyone was clambering for it to be Daniel Bryan. I think it was Rey Mysterio was the last spot.
Right.
They booed Rey so hard. And that's when CM Punk was like, you don't care about your fans. You're not listening to the fans. F this place, I'm out. You know? That's my bad. I'm going to turn that on silent. But yeah.
Yeah. There's an interesting spot with Ricochet and Logan Paul. Sorry to mention the cursed name.
Yeah,
that they're both sort of perched on the top ropes either side, or they're outside looking in. And they both launch at each other across the ring and collide in the middle. It looked alright. It's two guys launching themselves at each other. I don't know how much more you can get. But that was pretty good. Had a spring of very quick eliminations. Cody doing a few of them, which was it's good stuff. So I think at this point we're down to nearly the end. You had Cody Rhodes doing a bit of a tribute to Goldust with the Shattered Dreams.
That's great.
Cool.
You even did the whole in the corner. That was great. I love that.
It's really good.
Yeah. As soon as he started setting, I think it was Gunther, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As soon as he started setting his legs up.
In the last two.
Yeah. As soon as he started setting his legs up, I'm like, he's doing the tribute to his brother. Runs up to the corner, does the whole Goldust thing, runs in, wham!
Good stuff. And then he eliminates Gunther and wins the Royal Rumble.
Cody's going to WrestleMania.
Yes. And then he spent what felt like an awful long time just, I guess, soaking it in.
Not pointing at the sign.
Not pointing at the sign. He looked at the sign a few times. And I was basically just yelling at the TV saying, point at the sign. You're going to get told off if you do not point at the sign. And after a while he did, but it took his time.
He did he was on the ropes and he kind of did like he did this, he kind of kissed it and then he pointed a gun up towards the sign.
Yeah.
So
it's a little potentially...
I think that's to do, I think, with the Young Bucks and the Elite. That is probably to do with the Bullet Club. Because that's where he became as big a name as he is.
Yeah.
You know, he left
tribute.
Yeah, he left WWE and the next thing you see is him in a recorded vignette, sitting in this chair, in this suit with a cigar, announcing he's joining New Japan Pro Wrestling as a member of the Bullet Club and he's calling himself the American Nightmare. That's where that whole thing started.
Wow.
Yeah.
They really shot him in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. So overall, this Rumble was full of ups and downs. There were some really high spots and some really low spots. But overall, it was good.
29 being the lowest.
Yes. The bit where you were down to the last two, down to Cody and Gunther, that could have been an epic match all on its own. It was amazing. It's so good. Yeah, I think because of some of the stuff that came before with Booker T and it was a bit tricky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of close calls in that final bit where it just really looked like Cody was about to be eliminated. And just that thought that one wrong move, one slip, and he could have just been eliminated.
It's game over, man. It's game over.
And then they have to just switch everything up so Gunther's going to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Lots of edge of your seat moments.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else you've got on that?
It seemed like they were setting up Logan and Seth Rollins.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Which is great because Seth Rollins is going to make him look like $1 million.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What about our predictions? How do we do on those?
So, in terms of likely to be in the Rumble, you picked Big E. That did not come true. I picked Brock Lesnar. Because Brock Lesnar was announced on SmackDown. At the point we did our predictions, we didn't know that.
No.
So I had that one correct. And we both had Cody Rhodes to win the Rumble.
Okay. Not bad.
No brainer.
Bad.
Stevie Wonder could see that coming.
Okay. We then had a video package for Austin Theory.
Yawn.
Don't think we'd seen it before, so that was
No,
something.
it's a new one. Mm-hmm.
And then we come to the most mysterious match.
You got cat food with me.
Always. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. We found out after recording our predictions that Mountain Dew Pitch Black is the name of a drink. So it's one of the Mountain Dew variants, I guess. I don't know if it's new, so this is promoting it.
Maybe.
Not sure. So it's LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt. We had a recap video package of their rivalry so far, which is always fun to see. And then it begins. Well, while they're sort of doing entrances and things, you were spotting that there were people up on the ring apron doing something.
I think Cody took a bit too long.
Yeah, I think so. So they're trying to do it real quick. And what we get is, they turn the lights down, and up come the UV, the black lights.
Black light. Yeah, because I think Pat McAfee was like, "Glad I changed my pants today." Really, mate?
Yeah, making
really just
unsavory jokes.
Yeah.
So the ring ropes had been, I guess, coated in a UV material, so they were very, very bright. You had Mountain Dew printed onto the ring, which was fun. Green shirt guy had his time to shine.
Damn, he was bright.
So bright. Good job, green shirt guy. Get you some. LA Knight's gear was a very bright green that shone up a lot.
He's almost fluorescent yellow, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Was it? I think it was yellow.
Was it yellow?
I think it was yellow.
I think I'm thinking of the women's match where there was a lot of green.
Maybe, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think his was yellow and it kind of shone like a
really
fluorescent
bright.
green.
It was blinding.
That was so good.
And Bray Wyatt, he came out with
all dark.
Just all dark. His eyes sort of painted around black. His eyes, and then when the lights switched to the UV, you could see he had like painted.
He did his in the corner
marks.
Backwards hanging off the ropes thing, and that was it was
really cool.
It was really cool.
It almost made his face look skull-like because he had the dark eyes and then the sort of track lines, I suppose, in
Veins
UV paint.
Yeah,
but quite faded, not like really bright. Just shows up different. It looked really cool. It
did him on
look
his
really
arms
cool.
as well.
So that's the only difference between this and the Lights Out match. That's fine. Well, it's not really, because Lights Out is not
DQ,
sanctioned,
yeah.
and this is sanctioned.
Lights Out's
No
usually
DQ.
anything goes.
Yeah. I did enjoy this
Yes.
match.
Shorter than expected.
Good. It was really short. It was.
I get the feeling that's because Cody ran a bit long.
Yeah.
And because of what happens at the end, they probably saved time for...
Yeah,
again, we'll get to that later on, but I get the feeling they saved time for that.
Some very interesting stuff they did with the announce desk, where Bray goes to pull like the monitors off, and there's all these little green, bright UV reflecting dots that like fly out. Okay, I'm not quite sure how this works like in the lore,
embers,
but
maybe.
Embers? Are you saying fireflies?
Yeah, embers, fireflies. So like. What I said was, so they did that and it kind of looked like embers of a fire. If you kick a fire and the embers kind of flash out. What I said was they could have released them from the ceiling systematically and they just dropped down and looked like fireflies.
That could have been cool. Yeah, then you had, after a bit of back and forth outside the ring, it was LA Knight put Bray Wyatt through the desk, and then you had a poof
explosion of these green dots
stuck all over them. I think it was.
They got everywhere throughout the rest of the event.
Yeah, it was quite effective, I think, but in a sort of a who had that idea kind of a way. I think.
I reckon it's Bray.
Probably Bray. But yes, it was Bray Wyatt hits his sister Abigail on LA Knight and pins him for the win. Which is what we want.
Yep. Then...
So...
you forgot the lightsaber. The candlestick looked like a lightsaber.
The candlestick did look like a lightsaber. So Bray goes sort of... crouches down in the corner and comes back up with a mask on. And a mask we haven't seen before. There's sort of like almost a skull with red markings on it.
It's like the top half of the skull. Like this is all clear and it's like the...
It's really cool.
I guess if you've seen anyone who's sort of an old school viewer, you remember the Undertaker mask when he broke his orbital socket. Kind of like that.
Like a phantom mask.
But a bit more detailed.
So they sort of brawl all over the place.
Into the crowd, yeah.
Into the crowd. And then they sort of end up by, I don't know if it's a sound tower or a scaffold, something like that.
I think it was purposely built. It didn't look like a thing
tower. It was covered with black cloth. And we sort of could see something at the top, like something's at the top. And then Bray looks up and there's Uncle Howdy standing up there. And he dives off and onto LA Knight.
Like, looked like he was trying to elbow drop him.
Yeah, through like the set, I suppose. They probably had it breakaway set kind of thingy.
Or whatever.
So then he's down. And you've just got then Bray Wyatt standing over with his arms outstretched. And on the top of the scaffold, you see the Firefly Funhouse crew all just watching.
When Howdy hits LA Knight, loads of pyro and stuff goes off.
Pyro. We like pyro. So it's cool. It is very cool.
And you did mention as well, when we were watching it, you said, hang on, was that Huskins?
Yeah.
And we rewound it a little bit and we saw Huskins and Sister Abigail. And
so it was as Bray was coming down the ramp towards the ring.
Yeah, they were just doing the entrance,
along the
And we're like, oh, is that a fan or is that... And then you could see Sister Abigail was clearly on this side of the barrier, not the fan side. So
cool.
That was cool.
Firefly Funhouse in real life.
And with the stuff that Bray had, he had a 6 in Roman numerals on his head as well.
He did have a 6.
So Wyatt 6.
Wyatt 6. Because you got the 4 Firefly Funhouse guys.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
Although it's a bit up and down what side Uncle Howdy's on. So,
but then maybe...
He's on his own side.
No, maybe because of the mask thing, Bray Wyatt's coming into who Uncle Howdy knows him to be.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where it's coming from. You know?
I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Prediction?
We had... I should probably write them on here to make it easier. Bray Wyatt to win, and we both had that right.
Yes. I don't think there was much doubt about that.
No.
All right, we then had a video package, Brock Lesnar, which is another one we haven't seen before, so that's fine. But again, it's filler. They announced the attendance record of 51,338 people in attendance, which is a fun little tidbit. I don't know the word.
Yeah, that's I think that works.
And then we go to the next match, which is the Raw Women's Championship match between Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. I haven't got a huge amount written. Again, it felt like this match ended sooner than it maybe should have.
Suddenly.
Yeah, the ending came out of the blue a bit. It didn't feel like the match had reached its natural stopping point. But again, it could have been because they were running behind, that it was already a very long event.
The thing that bugged me was that Alexa was clearly dominant through this entire thing.
Yes.
And then Bianca just kind of gets a fluke.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on, really?
So I was saying near the beginning that I always get nervous when the person I'm rooting for is so dominant at the start, because there's usually a flip and then it changes. But this sort of, there was a flip, but then it was right then that it ended. It's like, don't know. Maybe I'm just disappointed because Bianca Belair won.
I feel this match just fell flat, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, Alexa's capable of doing better. Bianca, I'm not so certain.
There was some good back and forth between them and some good spots in there. But I think it just, because it ended before the momentum built enough to get the crowd going, perhaps.
I think the only thing that really stood out in this match is the way Alexa kept sort of grinning like a Cheshire cat, which is quite funny. Because that's obviously leaning into this, whatever that they're doing with her. That's the only thing that really stood out to me in this match, if I'm honest. And the crappy finish.
It was a pretty bad finish. And once Bianca has left, there's the sort of Uncle Howdy sort of video package thingy.
Yeah. So you think you're in control or something?
Yeah, you think you're in control. But then Alexa's just sort of cowering in the ring, looking emotional.
Yeah.
So nothing really happened with it.
No, and then they went and faded to black and did more
it.
filler. Yeah, it was disappointing, that one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I wouldn't mind Bianca winning if there was a good match or even a good end to it, you know, but this just fell really flat.
It's sort of a throwaway, but there you go. That's all I've got on that one.
Yeah.
Predictions?
I had that right, you had that wrong.
Yeah, too much wishful thinking, I think. Not yet. Someday it'll happen. Then we had an ad for Elimination Chamber, which is going to be the next Premium Live event on the 18th of February. We had a Judgment Day video package.
Yeah. It's nice to see them doing new packages, but are these really needed on a pay-per-view?
No. Sorry, they're probably still trying to clear the green dots from the ring, so there's still some left. And then we went into the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And try and, again, not be recappy. We start with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan to start.
Rhea at number 1. It's like, what?
It's crazy. And then when Liv is pronounced as the second person,
she's been begging for number 1 for all these weeks as well, leading into it. It's like, I want to be number 1, I want to be number 1. Nope.
I mean, number 2 is exactly the same as number 1, really, in a Royal Rumble, because you start at the same place.
Yeah, but it's not that status of number 1, is it?
Yeah, that's very true. Not a lot happened at the start of the Royal Rumble. We got to number 7
It's called the Women's Rumble, to make it less confusing.
Yeah, sorry, the Women's Rumble. We got to the 7th entrant before anyone got eliminated.
Yeah.
And then it was the entrant at number 7 who got eliminated.
Yeah.
It's the B-Fab from...
That's right. Hit Row. Yeah. That's another waste of an entrant.
Yeah. By the time we get to number 10, we have all of Damage Control in the ring. And they very much dominate. There's a lot of people that are eliminated by one of Damage Control or all 3 of them together. Yeah. So it's Io Sky, Dakota Kai and Bayley.
Yeah.
Lots of people eliminated. Were any of these like surprise people? There's
lots of fluorescent green.
Lots of fluorescent green. There's a lot of people. A few that from
Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne Perez, yeah.
She was from NXT. You had Zoe Starks from NXT.
Yeah, she hasn't come out at this point.
I don't know what numbers they come out. So
I do. Shayna and Natalia's spot was very confusing to me.
Oh, yeah.
So Natalia sort of managed to get Shayna over the ropes, and she was like hanging onto the top rope and dangling. And we had that moment of, oh no, and then it's like, oh, it's okay, her feet didn't hit the floor.
It looked like they were just kind of there.
Yeah, so she pulls her feet up, and then the refs start yelling, no, you've been eliminated, your feet hit the floor. We're like,
we didn't see contact though, so yeah, it's...
Maybe they saw something we didn't, but it didn't look like it. But it didn't matter, because both Shayna and Natalia both get eliminated by Damage Control at that moment, so then we don't have to worry about the argument, because she was going to go anyway.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And then I think I called the next. Was that... No, what number are we on now?
That was after Candice LeRae entered.
Okay.
The next person is Zoe Stark, who you mentioned.
Okay, yeah.
And then Xia Li.
Yeah. Looks like a Mortal Kombat character.
She comes in with a spear and runs all the way.
I don't think it was a spear. It didn't look like it had a point on it. It looked like a bow staff or something. Yeah.
Very long.
Very long. Either that or she's very short.
She gets as far as onto the steps with it, and then a ref grabs at it and says, "You can't take that in." So she just pushes it at him and he falls down. And then she goes in, it's like, fine. But she doesn't want to waste any time arguing. She wants to get in there and beat some people up.
I think it's at that point the Damage Control are just sort of wailing on everyone and they eliminate a couple more people. And I'm like, 15, what's the bet this is Becky Lynch?
Yeah, and then it was
Becky Lynch. And I'm like, oh.
Because it was weird because the crowd were all sort of standing up. You're like, they're getting up. It looks like they are expecting Becky Lynch. If it's not, they're going to be really disappointed. And then it was. So I don't know if there was some telltale sign in the arena that it was going to be Becky.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was interesting. Asuka's number 17, and she looks so cool.
New music, new mask, new look.
Yes, it's like a white sort of demon mask, is it?
Kabuki?
I think
it's a Kabuki mask.
I think it's a Kabuki mask. Like with horns and fangs.
It looked like either a dragon or a demon, It's like one of the samurai kind of masks that they would wear to intimidate their foes.
So we're like, oh, that looks so cool. And then she goes to take it off, and we're expecting normal Asuka, but no.
Oh no, I wasn't expecting. I knew something had changed, but I didn't know what. I had a feeling. I just had a feeling that something, because she's been off TV for a while.
Yeah.
And I felt like they were trying to repackage, and something needed to change. Because the last time we saw her, she looked like she was defeated. She was wearing the makeup. She needed something different. Yeah. And then she takes the mask off, and it's like, holy crap, that looks amazing.
It's like, again, like sort of a demon look. So she's got this almost big grin painted with just vertical lines.
It's like a demonic version of Kiss.
Yeah, it got like a little red nose kind of thing.
I thought it was the same colour.
I can't remember. Oh, it was blue, wasn't it? Or blue. And it was sort of almost metallic paint as well, which looked really cool.
She kind of shined a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah,
and she's
awesome.
Trimmed her hair as well. She's cut her hair.
Yeah, it's much shorter, kind of choppy.
And the colours are darker.
Like muted.
Yeah.
Rather than the very bright, vibrant colours that she had before. Next sort of surprise, we have a couple of surprises in a row. Piper Niven.
Yeah.
Coming out as Piper Niven, not Dewdrop, which is amazing. She did so much. She looked so much better.
She looked more comfortable as well.
Yeah, just like she was going for it. She's got a real passion, I think.
Yeah. And like, it's quite funny, as I saw an interview yesterday, and she said why she'd been off is that she had COVID, and it hit her really hard. The second time she had COVID, and she had a fever for like 2 weeks, and she'd been off for like 4 months, because of illness, So, I'm not necessarily a fan of Piper Niven, but it's good to see her come back and, a bit of more injection into the women's division of new blood, as it were.
She's followed soon after by Tamina. They have a pretty good standoff and some good spots together.
Because they can both kind of go hard, because they're quite big ladies.
Then we get Chelsea Green, who
gets in the ring and then
she's immediately eliminated.
Bye, Chelsea.
By Rhea Ripley,
thanks for coming.
Who then just like laughs at her.
That's a record for the Women's Rumble, apparently. It's just the shortest reign in the Rumble.
Oh, nice.
For a Women's Rumble.
WWE love their records. Yes, there was a weird spot again with Xia Li, where she comes out onto the apron with Zelina Vega, who is dressed as
Juri from Street Fighter.
Yes, they do this sort of quite cool sort of start to their spot where they almost go into battle poses.
They did, yeah. That was Juri's, the way she lifted her. That was Juri's starting pose in Street Fighter.
The problem with the spot is that we didn't see how Xia Li got to the outside.
I think there must have been a recap or something going on at that point, or maybe the camera was in the wrong place.
I think the camera angle just wasn't at that corner where she was in, and then she gets Zelina eventually gets her onto the floor, but we're like, we don't know if she's eliminated or not.
Yeah.
I don't think it was made clear. The refs didn't make it clear. The announce team didn't make it clear.
We don't see her again, so we're assuming
either she was eliminated or she gave up. I don't know. The next sort of surprise is 25 Michelle McCool, who has this whole time been sat at front row
with her daughters.
And then just like gets up, like, well, I've got to go. Takes off her jacket. She goes.
The pair of Ugg boots.
She looks like she's wearing Ugg boots, but she's she's amazing.
Yeah, she can still go.
She can still go. She didn't last very long. Tamina eliminates her, but
I don't know. She lasted a little while.
Why have I got her being eliminated before the next entrant came in?
She didn't get eliminated that quick.
I've written the wrong name. Someone got eliminated.
Absolutely
by
not. No, she was in for a little while.
My bad. It's all good.
She did at least 5 minutes, at least.
So then we get the rest of the entrants come in one by one. Number 30. So confusing. Something went wrong and someone's getting a telling off because the countdown came onto the screen as the entrance music started.
Well, no, it came on after the entrance music started.
So they basically did
the entrance music started. You can see all the gubbins coming on the ring and on the side aprons and the barrier and whatever. So that's coming out. and then the thing, 10, 9, 8, and then they turn it back up and it's like...
Whoops. Yeah. It was Nia Jax. Which I was not expecting.
Another waste of an entrant.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sorry, she's injured too many people. I really don't think Nia Jax has a place in this industry.
No. I have written down that she's the Booker T of the Women's Rumble. Because it did feel like that.
The biggest wasted spot in the Rumble.
Wasted spot.
Even Chelsea Green was better than this.
All that happened when she got in, I think she hit a few people. Fair enough.
They did the whole Braun Strowman thing.
Yeah, everyone attacked.
Come on then, everyone wants a piece. Come on then, and they all beat her up, and then she did the whole and they all flew back like Braun Strowman would. Yeah.
Rhea did manage to hit a riptide on her, which was impressive.
That looked brutal. She landed on her side, not on her back.
I don't think there was any way to prevent that. Just the size difference between the two.
Rhea tried picking her up to body slam as well, and it just got up so far and then just dropped.
Oh, she gave it a good go.
Oh God.
But then everyone gets Nia out.
All teamed up, dumped her over.
Everyone left.
Bye-bye. Thanks
there
for coming.
Goes.
Go back to whatever rock you've been hiding under. Thanks.
She'll probably be back. I don't know.
Don't.
Then we had a string of very quick eliminations. And we end up with the last 3 in the ring. We've got Asuka.
Yeah.
And then we've got numbers 1 and 2, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. They've lasted to the end, which is insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So all 3 of them end up over the top ropes onto the apron.
Yeah.
Which is just...
dangerous.
Terrifying. Asuka hits the blue mist on Liv Morgan.
She goes to hit it on Rhea.
For Rhea, yeah, but she gets out of the way. Liv gets it right in the eyes.
Pow, right in the kisser.
But doesn't go down yet. Rhea eliminates Asuka, and then Rhea sort of slips on the ropes. I don't know.
No, I think Liv kind of hit her or something, or
looked like she just slipped.
Oh, maybe.
She's sort of walking away, and it looked like her footing
possible.
Went. But she's then
hanging
off
Liv
the top
maybe
ropes.
had hit her in the midsection or something.
Possibly. Maybe I missaw. Just hanging off the ropes.
Shayna Baszler style.
Yeah. Liv tries.
Which is dangerous because Rhea's tall.
She is really tall. Her legs are so close. Liv goes over to try and loosen her grip to make her fall.
Yeah, starts hitting her hands holding on the rope.
But Rhea gets her legs all the way up. Crazy core strength. It's insane. Grabs Liv's head with her legs and just flips her.
Mm-hmm.
And out she goes. And Rhea Ripley wins the Women's
Rhea
Royal Rumble.
Ripley's heading to WrestleMania.
She doesn't point at the sign either. She waves at it. Like this. A bit weird. But you could argue that she is pointing multiple times. So we'll go with that. So this match overall, pretty flat for the most part.
Yeah.
When it got to around the last 4 or 5, I think it really picked up. And that final spot with the 3 of them was pretty good.
Yes.
But yeah, it could have been better. I think some of the entrants just were a bit of a... just because they needed 30 people.
Lacey Evans.
Also, this is where I noticed that the fireworks that they were showing...
Oh, yeah.
Which they showed at the end of the men's rumble
yeah.
and the end of the women's outside.
They showed at the beginning as well, I think.
Probably. They were not real fireworks.
No.
They were like superimposed Photoshop kind of. Yeah, it was bad.
Crap.
They look really bad. Cool. So that's the women's rumble. You got anything else to add?
Nope.
Any predictions?
We both had that one right. So we both had the winner as Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
For likely entrances, you had Lacey Evans, which was announced on SmackDown.
Which I didn't know.
I had Beth Phoenix, who didn't enter the Rumble, but did show up at the Royal Rumble.
True. So you get half a point.
Mm-hmm.
We have to start doing real points. Okay, then we have Braun Strowman video package. Another new video package we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's sort of a reason for this being there as filler, because they're setting up the ring for a musical performance by Hardy singing his song Sold Out. And I got really, really annoyed because as he was singing, you could hear this other voice singing, and it turns out...
We were like, is it the guitarist? No, he's too far away. Is it the drummer? No, he has got a mic.
But of course it was Pat McAfee singing along, still with his headset on and his mic turned on. It's like so disrespectful. It's It's like, how did no one say in his ear, you need to turn your mic off, or just switch his mic off? They did after a bit, but it went on for too long and just sort of ruined it a bit.
Awful.
It's a decent song. Not a like 5-star performance, but it's a sort of weird sort of situation to be performing, I think. So
yeah,
I won't put that against Hardy. I will put it against Pat McAfee because he's annoying. And then we had loads of filler as they tried to reset the ring, because obviously they'd taken the ropes off and everything.
Because there was nowhere else for the band to set up.
So there's quite a few like trailers and little bits, including a trailer for the Ric Flair documentary, Woo, Becoming Ric Flair.
Okay, right, yeah. So at the beginning of this trailer, it literally puts a WWE Network documentary, okay, only on Peacock. If you're in America and you have Peacock, you can watch it.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're anywhere else in the world and you're watching on the WWE Network, tough. You're out of luck. You can't watch it. It's not on the network.
Yeah. It would be different.
It's a WWE Network documentary. Why the hell is it not on the WWE Network?
It'd be different if Peacock was available elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it's not available
The whole
in the UK,
point
as
of the
far as
network
I know.
being in the UK is because they don't have Peacock.
Yeah. So they're just discriminating against us, clearly.
It's disgraceful.
It's really bad. And the thing is, they're not getting as many views because they're restricting their viewership. So I don't know how that's any good for anyone.
It's not.
It's Peacock being annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have a recap of the storyline between the Bloodline, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in the lead up to the main event. And before we get to the main event... But first, it's time for... Leanne signs up the PLE. Leanne signs up the PLE. Play.
I should have got you a new sign for Christmas.
This one's fine. This one with a ribbon on it. I only saw 3 signs that even made the list at all. So we've got the top 3. A lot of football related signs, I think, or sports. I don't know.
Like we don't do sports. Yuck.
Teams and things. There's loads more of those Simon give me an up things, which were everywhere, which I still don't understand. It's fine. I don't have to understand them. So the top 3. In 3rd place, we're just going to say it and move on.
We're a family-friendly channel.
Tribal Queef. Number 2. Now that was Uzi. It was the person with it just held it up every time something like spectacular happened. Like, now that was Uzi. I like that. I think it's good. Didn't see it much in the main event, but okie dokie. There's a lot going on though. Sign number 1, top spot, Leanne signs of the PLE, was Seth shops in Beck's closet. Because obviously they're married, but some of the clothes he's wearing do look like she might have worn them first. So,
yeah.
I thought it was good.
Okay.
And that's it. That was Leanne signs up the PLE. Leanne signs up the PLE. Play. So violent. I hope you enjoyed my segment. It's time for the main event. For the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. This is pretty good.
You just reeled that off so quick.
Are you proud of me?
Yeah, kinda.
Finally.
Notice me, senpai.
It was in my head, I didn't want to say it, but you did. I did quite enjoy this match. Hard hitting.
Yeah.
Good storytelling throughout from both competitors in the ring and from outside the ring. This Roman was accompanied by Paul Heyman, who's just, his facial expressions can tell a whole story on their own.
Heyman's great.
And Sami Zayn, who there was a lot of focus on his reactions to various things and his facial expressions, and he really did go through a lot in this match and after. I did notice from the start when they were coming down the ramp that Sami had a cut down the neckline of his t-shirt, so that would just let us speculating, because it's, you do that to rip the shirt. So is it because he's going to join in and just take his shirt off?
Maybe
Has he got a different shirt underneath? Is it too tight? What's going to happen? So we're just there like, just curious, which is a good place to be, I think, the start of a match, is having that anticipation and not quite knowing what's going to happen.
It can be dangerous because it can draw away from the match as well.
Very true. Yeah. Because usually you don't notice that there's a cut in someone's shirt until they start tearing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he did it too much or...
Maybe
just because of the bright orange beard, it draws attention to that area. I don't know. So there was... I've put that there's an intense back and forth between Roman and Kevin Owens. Every time there was a near fall either side, Sami just looked really nervous. Because I think it was... The commentary team were trying to get across that his loyalties were uncertain, and was he nervous when Kevin was kicking out because he nearly got sent out, or because he got back in? I don't know. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
So that was a good way of, again, keeping that uncertainty. It wasn't really obvious which way it was going to go in the end, which is good. There was a ref bump.
Yeah.
Which we were kind of expecting. When it's that much energy and emotion, there's going to be a ref bump.
And when there's the bloodline involved, they're going to get involved.
Yes. So, because of the ref bump, Roman would have been pinned by Kevin Owens, but it's missed. And then Roman retaliates with a low blow to Kevin Owens and asks Sami to get a chair. Sami then is yelling, "You told me not to do anything." And Roman Reigns is yelling, "I'm telling you now, go get a chair." So then he goes off to try and get a chair from the crowd.
From the timekeeper's area.
From the timekeeper's area. And then Paul Heyman's yelling at him like, "There's chairs under the ring." So then he goes and gets one from under the ring and hesitates before sending it into the ring. And in this time, Kevin Owens is getting up, manages to get a stunner on Roman Reigns, but he kicks out. It's like tense. Yeah, kicking out of a stunner. That's the sore point. Let's move on. Then it goes sort of off the rails even more with violence from Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens sort of isn't getting any licks in now, just
pummeling,
just getting his head thrown into steel chairs and all sorts of things. A couple of spears, and then he's pinned, and Roman wins and retains the Undisputed Championship. And then we noticed there was still 20 minutes left of the event.
Yeah, it's like, what?
But it makes sense now. Do you want to say anything about the match before we go to the after stuff?
There was a nasty spill. Kevin Owens was trying to do a move off the ropes, he just slipped and landed straight on Roman, and it's like, oh god, that looked nasty. Apparently they're both fine, so... Good. I mean, they carried on with the match, so they must be fine, but... You know what I mean.
So, following the match, the Usos come out and Solo Sikoa comes out. They're all sort of having a bit of a celebration. They've all got the leis on, and is it Jay, I think it was, goes to put...
I think it was Jay, yeah.
The spare one on Sami to make him part of the family officially, but Roman stops him.
Yeah.
They sort of take turns beating up Kevin Owens while Sami watches.
Jimmy does and Solo does.
I think Jay did at this
point.
point.
And then it was after this, when they handcuffed and they started doing the super kicks.
Yeah. So he gets handcuffed to the ropes.
And then Jay starts getting involved.
Lots of super kicks. So many super kicks. Some would call it a super kick party, maybe.
Different company?
It doesn't matter. We're not affiliated with anyone. Sponsor us.
Please, Tony Khan.
Okay, where am I? Handcuffed to the ropes. Roman goes to him with a chair. Sami gets in the way and asks him to stop. Begs him to stop.
Yeah. He's like, "This is below you.
This is below you. He's done.
You
this
see
is
where
enough."
This is going.
So Roman hands the chair to Sami, and they're talking, and sort of Roman's trying to goad Sami into obviously hitting Kevin Owens with the chair. It looks a bit hit and miss what he's going to do, and then Sami hits Roman with the chair.
He Seth Rollins'd him.
Oh, right on the back, while his back's turned.
And they teased it as well. They teased it prior, like a couple of minutes earlier when he's still going back. He's going back, and then he walks forward, and then it's like, oh no, Roman turns around, doesn't he? He's like, but he Seth Rollins' him.
He shouldn't have turned his back on him again.
Seth Rollins' him.
And then you've got Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa both beating Sami up.
Yeah.
But Jay
just in the corner. He's like, just he's having a bit of an existential crisis.
Yeah.
He's like, what do I do?
The person who took the most to
convince
trust Sami, and now he's the only one holding back. And eventually, after being asked to join in, he just rolls out the ring.
Gets caught up in some cables.
But we don't talk about that. And walks out, clearly with such emotion in his face and like covering his face with his hands to show like crying. And he pulled that off really well, I think.
It's a long ramp way to get back to the back as well. So then in the meantime, like they show Roman pounding Sami with his chair, and he would have heard those shots halfway up that ramp, and then after he throws the chair down, they cut back to Jey Uso, and he's there, and he's just about to hit the actual curtain into Gorilla, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's crazy. And Roman rips Sami's shirt clean off him as he's lying down. He just like grabs it and rips it up
into bits.
So there must have been multiple cuts on that shirt, because it just came off.
Or Sami Zayn's got a lot of welts on him today.
And the crowd has a good old time chanting F you Roman.
Yep.
Obviously not just F.
They've cemented the bloodline straight back into the heels.
Yes.
They were kind of coming around a little bit with Sami Zayn.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this spot. It did feel like it was quite drawn out, this section.
Too long, I think, yeah.
There was a lot of maybes and hesitation and stuff, which works with the story, but it did drag it out. But the questions that it leaves on what does this mean for the Usos, what does this mean for the bloodline.
Usos are still tag champs.
Yeah, they're still tag champs, but they're not going to be seeing eye to eye anymore. So is this the end?
Could this be? I reckon they'll fold Jay back into it, and then they'll have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Usos at WrestleMania.
That could be
and then they could end up having the Usos or Jay costing the Usos the titles, and then convincing Jimmy to break away from the bloodline. So you could have the Usos split from the bloodline.
That could be good. It's sort of sending me back to when the Usos were being sort of forced to join the bloodline, back when Roman Reigns was being even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the main event. That was Royal Rumble 2023, and I had a good time. It was very long. There was a lot of filler.
Yep.
But what we got, for the most part, I think, lived up to what it needed to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, what was our predictions on the...
we had that right.
Yeah.
We had Roman winning.
Obviously, right?
Yep.
Cool. Anything else to say about this event?
Nope. That was too long.
Too long.
Way too long.
Too long.
For 5 matches, it should not have gone for 4.5 hours.
No.
Like, damn.
Even with a live performance, there's only one song.
I mean, Royal Rumble matches last over an hour, but not like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like the first one, I think was like an hour and hour 20? No, an hour. What did they say? Wasn't it like an hour and 12?
Something like that. I can't remember. It's crazy.
It just felt the last sort of after the last participant come out. They just felt overly long for some reason this year. I don't know why. In both Rumbles, not just the men's, but the women's as well.
Yeah, there's a lot less sort of loads of people being thrown out and it coming down to 2 people in between. There was sort of a lot of spots where there were a lot of people in the ring.
Yeah, there was 12 women in the ring when Nia Jax came down.
Yeah. It's a bit
They
crazy.
made a point of saying there's 12 people in this ring.
Yeah.
You know, so
There
okay.
we go. Good.
Least favorite match.
Least favourite match, I think, would probably be Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. Sorry.
No, I have to agree, and it's not it's not Alexa's fault.
No, it's partly the fact that it was made to be too short. Whatever decisions were made to come to that, it could have been better if it had more time.
And I get the feeling they took a lot of time, not only from that, but from the Pitch Black match as well, from that to do this Bloodline stuff at the end.
Yeah. Because
they have to state in advance how long the event's going to be.
Yeah, that's very true.
Favourite match?
I think it's probably Roman versus Kevin.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Men's Royal Rumble is sort of up there, but there were too many sort of down moments for it to really get that top spot. And the Pitch Black match would have been up there if it, again, had more time to do stuff, I think.
I think for me it is the Pitch Black match, because I just loved the look and the aesthetic of it and everything they were going for it. Like, it was like, they didn't tell you anything about it going into it. You didn't know what you were getting, and then that's what you got, and it's like, this looks incredible.
It was good. I'd like follow a company that just did UV wrestling matches. That'd be good. Why not?
We want more Pitch Black matches.
Yeah.
WrestleMania Pitch Black edition.
Mountain Dew, not sponsored.
Please sponsor us.
Anyone?
All right.
Cool. That was it. When's the next premium live event or pay-per-view?
Elimination Chamber
is next.
February 18th.
February.
Just in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll be back with our predictions and reactions for that one. So look forward to that. We've also got tons of other content in the meantime. So please follow the channel, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new stuff. Like this video if you liked it. We appreciate all of your feedback. Commenting down below.
I mean, you must have liked it if you reached this point.
I know, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Follow us on our social media. We've got our link tree details in the video description, which will take you to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and also our listings of our most recent content for you to check out and see what's going on. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So thank you again for watching. Until next time, don't hit the floor with 2 feet.
Yeah, why not?
Unless you haven't gone over the top rope.
Then it's totally fine.
It's totally fine. Bye!